Jessica Lombard, Associate Superintendent.
And I'm Superintendent John Berkey, and this is Huntley 158 Today. Well, one of the things is we've, as most people know, is we are a complete one-to-one district, which means all of our students have one computer. In our case, it's Chromebooks, and we've been that way for a while, one of the first districts to do that. And the reason we did that is so that students can take more control over their learning. It can make it easier for teachers to individualize instruction for kids at different levels. But we really have only scratched the surface.
Absolutely. We are looking currently in our district to moving towards what will take us about 5 years to kind of approach this is personalized learning. And we have two of our principals here today that we would like to introduce and talk about this endeavor as we move forward. We have Scott Rowe, our high school principal, and Anna Hoyou, who is our principal over at Mackeben Elementary. So welcome.
Thank you.
You guys, first let's start talking just a little bit about your background, how long you've been here.
I'm Anna Hoyou, and I've been at Mackeben for 3 years now here in Huntley. And before this, I've been a principal for 6 years in a different district and a classroom teacher at elementary and a special ed teacher at elementary level.
So Dr. Rowe, tell us a little bit about your background and what you did before Huntley High School.
Sure. Well, this is my 7th year as principal in the Huntley School District, 2 years at Marlowe and now my 5th at the high school. And prior to that, I was a social studies teacher in both Illinois and Missouri. So we've had a great experience so far, and I'm really excited about this next chapter in our district.
So personalized learning will look very different at different levels of the school district. Dr. Rowe, could you talk to us about the high school and what personalized learning elements are already in the high school and where you think it might go in the future?
Well, I think this is a great step for us. It's a very logical step in our progression as a school at the high school. We're entering our 7th year as a blended learning school, grown from 100 students to over 2,000 students taking at least one blended course. And with that, teachers spend more time doing things differently in class. And through that natural exploration about instruction and how they can change what they're doing to better reach their students, they're finding where the time they have students face-to-face, where that value is and where what they can do differently to maximize their learning. So the next logical step then is, are we really reaching all of our students in a way in which they individually learn? And I think that's what we've learned over the last 7 years that has been then accelerated with one-to-one and having Chromebooks in the high school is obviously we all know our students learn differently. We all know they learn at different paces. So I think our teachers are really grasping the concept that it's okay that our students learn at a different pace, a different place sometimes, and they achieve mastery at a different time. And our focus on personalizing learning to each individual student as best we can really does break down the traditional school of kids in rows being instructed by a teacher where the teacher gives them all the information. It's really shifting that role of a teacher to facilitating the learning when the student is ready to achieve mastery. And our focus really shifts on completing the curriculum or getting through the curriculum to mastering the concepts or the skills, which is what I think we all agree our learning should be about.
Mrs. Hoyou, Dr. Rowe talked about that at the high school. What does that look like at the early elementary level?
Yep. Well, I think it's going to look a little differently because our students are so young, but it's actually nice to hear how it looks and what the vision is at the high school because we're preparing your future students to learn in a personalized learning environment. And I think that at the elementary level, it really looks like our teachers getting to know our students. So getting to know your learners, getting to know your thinkers, and then starting to really teach students how they get to have choice in their learning and how they make decisions for their learning and learning about how they learn best really at our level. So we know that the college and career readiness standards for our K-2 students are really about social emotional learning and the building blocks of literacy and numeracy. So we have to balance, I think, at kindergarten, first and second grade, the need to teach all students skills that they'll need as the building blocks, but also to start understanding our students in their interests and understanding our students and how they learn best, and then our students understanding how they learn best at a young age and starting to have some choice in what their learning environment is like and their learning content is like. So really just preparing them to be able to be successful in other environments as they move on from us.
So even though you two are at opposite ends of our school district, you two have developed a very strong relationship where you share ideas. And last year, you did something that I thought was great, where you actually spent some time in each other's buildings. Can you talk about that, about why you did that and what you learned from that? You can start, Mrs. Hoyou?
Sure. It was really an exciting opportunity that I approached Dr. Rowe and said, hey, I'd like to come and see everything that you have going on at the high school, because it really gives me, like, I can work backwards from that. So I can see what's happening there and then and really talk to, what are students struggling with at his level, and then how are we preparing students at the K2 level to be most successful even at the high school level. I think it kind of actually stemmed out of our discussions as a leadership team about college and career readiness. So it's not all of our teachers, I think, are always thinking about our kindergartners as college students. Not all of our families are thinking about that yet. So it's good for me as we're leading instruction to really go and visit and see all the amazing things that were happening at Huntley High School and some of the student choices they had there, so that we can take it back to K1 and 2 and start the conversation with students and parents and teachers about, students are going to be expected to collaborate around a problem. They're going to be expected to learn with their peers and in non-traditional ways and in traditional ways. How are we preparing them at K1-2 to do that? That was kind of how my perspective was. I don't know how you felt coming to us.
I got a lot out of seeing recess. I hadn't
Yes.
done recess before ever. So as an adult, as an educator, so that was interesting to see just the different approach, and it's refreshing to see 5, 6, and 7-year-old kids and how excited they are to be in school every day. But off of your point, what's going to come from our personalized learning journey that we're going to embark on is we're going to have to be connected vertically much more closely than we are, because it's going to be about the individual learner and figuring that out. And so this type of an activity was not only refreshing and fun, but it also, you see some really, really great things that are happening in other places in our buildings. And I think the most exciting part for me as we really dive into this work is our district's full of people that really care about kids, which is the most important foundational block that we have to build on. And to see that at Mackeben, which I know are happening in all of our other buildings as well, was really cool to see.
Well, I really want to thank both of you for being here today. I think you're doing some great work, and I think the personalized learning journey that we're going to take into the future is going to be very exciting and ultimately very good for kids.
Yes, again, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us at Huntley 158 today. If there are future guests you'd like seen on our show, topics you'd like discussed, or questions you'd like an answer to, please reach out to us at our district Facebook page or Twitter, #Ask158. Until next time.